have been busy in its quest to unwind the mystery concerning the murder of dancehall artist, Alizee. She was apparently killed with her little girl Petra, by Danish spouse, Peter Neilsen, whose nation has been informed concerning an inquiry being directed by the law authorization officers in Nigeria. The demise of the artist, who was not a long way from a promising melodic career in the Nigerian music scene. Her death occurred at a period when she was all the while encountering quick development as an artist, a factor that made her passing all the more disillusioning. Here are 5 things you did not know about the rising artist. 1. Billed for Harrisok's Kingmaker concert in April 2018. Before her passing, the artist had been billed for the Kingmaker concert, a melodic occasion to be featured by Alterplate music company artiste, Harrisok. Different artists charged to perform at the show includes D-Batch, Simi, Reminisce, Duncan Mighty, and others. 2. Police arrested her spouse regarding murder. The Lagos State Police has captured the artist's significant other for her killing. In any case, they are yet to discover the explanation for the alleged murder. 3. She is a Kogi State vocalist and last released a single in January 2018. Alizee is a local of Kogi State, Nigeria. She was on the course of releasing another single, Alhaji Musa, before her murder. 4. She was signed to Petra Entertainment, a nation record label. The late artist had the benefit of penning an agreement with Asian record label, Petra Entertainment. The organization purportedly offered her a multi-million naira bargain. 5. She lived in a Banana Island crib, where she was killed, and also a Ford Explorer SUV. Alizee got the Banana Island lodging from her record label, Petra Entertainment. Sadly, this was the place she was murdered. The Lagos State Police have been busy in its quest to
Hello, everyone out there. You are live with King Sigma, and I appreciate you all sliding through for a moment. We got another one. We have another Swirl Mountain obituary, hot off the presses. I never like having to do these type of stories, but unfortunately, we talk about the graveyard of Swirl Mountain around here all the time. And as I continue forward with the Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series, I really don't know how many more cases that I'm going to get in. Let's say in the next 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised if I hit 25 entries into the Swirl Mountain graveyard. But in news around the world, I just want to say that for those that are worried about the Iran, Iraq, and USA conflict, this is just another warmongering campaign. At most, more than likely, you're just going to see that your gas prices go up. Some people are saying that there may be attacks on the United States. That's yet to be seen. But as usual, you should always have a plan B and a plan C. If you have relatives in more safer spaces, then you need to get to those kind of places if we do get any kind of emergency alerts. But right now, it seems like most of what's going to happen is going to happen over there in the Middle East, at least as of what we know now. So with those alleged missile attacks on U.S. bases over there in Iraq, it's really no telling where this thing is going to go now, because you have a Congress and a president that are at odds with each other. Last time I checked, Speaker Nancy Pelosi was saying that she was going to do like a resolution to not declare war. Trump said he's going to go to war regardless. So we have no idea if we're going to be in a World War III, Civil War, who knows? But all I know is that, I'm going to keep bringing these stories as long as I can, as long as they keep our internet on. So also, it's Wednesday, January 8th, 2020, and it is freezing in the Great North. We got like temperatures of 5 degrees, and it's supposed to get like below zero tonight. So I got my nice cup of tea with me. And we're going to get into this story. I titled this Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad entry. This is case number 6, A Tale of Two Body Bags. Zainab sings no more. Yes, sir. So basically, as you guys heard in the opening clip, the R&B pop singer from Nigeria, Zainab Ali Nielsen, her stage name is actually Alizee. She was 37 years old at the time that she was murdered on April 5th, 2018. And she actually had a biracial 4-year-old daughter by the name of Petra. And that's who you saw in those body bags. It was ugly. I didn't want to show too much of the graphic photos. So I'm glad that the ones that I did show were kind of blocked out. But it was graphic, man. And I'm glad that the Lago police put that out there, because people need to see this stuff. Because when it comes to this bottom shelf Brad, man, they're all over the world. They get these protections. They get the benefit of the doubt. While the black man is told that he's a criminal, he's violent, he's the worst man and things like that. But somehow these cases just keep popping up of these deranged bottom shelf Brads going around the world, murdering people, raping people, and killing their own kids. So that's what's so crazy about this story. So for those that are into like African music, you may know about Zainab because she had a song, and I swear, I am not making it up. She has a song called Massa. That was one of her biggest songs, called Massa. I am not making this up. I would have played the clip, but I am not messing around with any kind of music, any kind of anything that might have a copyright on it. So you guys will have to go search it on YouTube yourself. But the name of the song is Massa. Real shit. So obviously, the primary suspect in her murder is the white man that you saw named Peter Neilsen, and he is now 55 years old, and that was her husband. And the thing is, this case has been going on for nearly 2 years. Remember, the murder happened back on April 5th, 2018, and this keeps being pushed back and being pushed back more. And so I was looking at the record label, some of the statements that they had made about the case, and I will read that statement to you right now. This is from her record label, Petra Entertainment. So let me read that to you all. So her the management of late singer Alizee releases an official statement on her death. And the statement says, Petra Entertainment Limited has received with shock news of the sudden demise of our artist, Zainab Ali Nielsen, and her daughter, Peter Neilsen, at their Banana Island, Lagos home on the 5th of April, 2018. The late Nielsen, Zainab, also known as Alizee, was a Nigerian citizen married to Peter Neilsen. While we exercise restraint in making public statements on the circumstances surrounding the demise of Alizee and her daughter, in order not to prejudice ongoing police investigations, it has become important to correct some misinformation presently circulating in the media space. In this regard, we state that the husband of the late Zainab Ali, who is also the father of Peter Neilsen, is a Danish citizen and not an Italian or Asian, as has been reported by several media outlets. So there was some confusion in the news if he was Italian or Danish, but he's actually Danish, and those are people that are from Denmark. And I got to look more into like really what's going on, man, in Africa, because, you know, it's been a lot of conversation about Africa, and it's a lot going on over there in Africa, man, in regards to the culture, the amount of like this neo-colonists that are over there, and you have these intrusions from China. So I'm gonna definitely dig into that at some other time. But in the statement, it also says, we call all law enforcement agencies to speedily unravel the circumstances surrounding the demise of these vibrant Nigerians and bring all complicit persons and or entities to justice. In the light of reports suggesting that Alizee's husbands may be under police investigation in connection with these painful deaths, we particularly call on the Nigerian Immigration Services to remain vigilant at this time and urge the cooperation of all foreign missions in the country. And they end with, our thoughts and prayers go out to the relatives of the late Zainab and Petra. So that was a statement that was released by the record label that Zainab was signed to. And Zainab was actually signed to an Asian record label. So it seems like every time I look into this whole thing with Africa, it's always something to do with one of these colonial powers or China. It seems like they're the ones that are running things. It don't seem like the Africans are running things to the extent that the message is told to us, at least. So that's her record label making that statement. And what shocked me is that, you know, this murder, it happened back on April 5th, 2018, like I said, but they just adjourned again on December 9th, 2019. So they keep pushing this case back and back and back, and it looks like it won't be picked up again until either at the end of this month or February of 2020. And because I believe the primary suspect, the husband, Peter, he's a dual citizen of Denmark and Nigeria. There's some issues, you know, with the home country, and it seems like they're protecting this guy, because I've read some of the court reports coming out of you know, the different courts in Lagos, and they're trying to get the case over with, but it seems like there's some interference from Denmark. So I'm following this case closely. But, you know, one of the things that the state police of Lagos said is that Zainab and Petra, the two victims, they were found dead in the family's residence in what is called Ocean Parade, Banana Island. And I looked into that, and apparently, you know, Banana Island is an area of Lagos, Nigeria, and it's one of the most expensive areas. So they were living high, and there's not like a lot of information on him. So I think that we got another one of these cases of a white Pookie type guy. Because remember, there was this age difference. He's 55 and she was 37 at the time that she was murdered, and the child was 4 years old. So it just seems real strange that there's not a lot of information on him, but we know that she was like a rising R&B pop singer. It seems like she might have been taking care of this guy. And so she was actually originally from the Kanji state area of central Nigeria. And like I said, you know, she actually went by her stage name of Alizee. And I just couldn't, I was just taken aback when I read that one of her top songs was called Massa. And as usual, you know, she got the whole little cake soap thing going on. The skin looks bleached, and then she got that biracial child. We've seen this so many times in this Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series. We keep seeing the same patterns over and over. And at some point, you got to say, this is just the reality of the situation. I don't know. You know, I got like 3 more cases on docket right now that I got to get to over the next week or two. But I really do believe that I'm going to get to about 25 cases if I continue these stories by June 1st. At the rate this thing is going, I would not be surprised if there's 25 entries. And remember, I'm just one of many brothers that reports on these stories. There's other brothers that have stories that I haven't even seen. And I have stories that they haven't seen. But yet we're told that black men, you know, don't go SYSBM. Don't save yourself. Don't go find a better deal. Don't go find peace. Don't find happiness anywhere. Don't look to supplement your happiness. That's what we're told, at least. But I'm gonna just keep bringing this evidence because, again, my whole goal with the Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series is to punch back at the white media who, like, they love to put out all this black misandry in every form. I mean, it just never ends in the media. And now I just heard that they got another Surviving R. Kelly series coming out. Ain't that something? So 1 wasn't enough. They actually have a part 2, a season 2, at the same time that the Weinstein trial just started in New York. You guys don't seem to think at this point that there's something odd about that? That the face of Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, his trial is going on right now in New York. And all of a sudden they're talking about this R. Kelly season 2. So that's why I continue with these stories, because they're not going to stop with their misandry. They're not going to stop with their hatred of the black American male, and they're not going to stop undermining our name. So it is our duty individually to continue pushing these stories and continue doing what the news won't do by underreporting or not reporting. I couldn't find no news clips of that murder over there, man. It takes a lot of, every time I do one of these entries, it takes a lot of digging, man. But you would already know if it was a black man. If it was a black man over in Denmark who was the primary suspect in murdering his Danish wife and biracial daughter, you could believe that CNN, The Guardian, MSNBC, all the news places over in Denmark would be reporting on it. Everyone would know that man's name. But somehow, the Mayo Man and Bottom Shelf Brad is always a mystery to who they are, how they got there, what they do, and why they're not locked up and convicted already. I mean, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude gets off, man, even though all the DNA evidence points to him. The witnesses have said that he did it. I wouldn't be surprised if this dude beats this case this year, man. So I'm definitely going to stay up on it. But at the time when Alizee was murdered, when her and her daughter were murdered, she was actually in her last year of an initial 2-year record deal with Peter Entertainment. And you know how it is, like they sign these artists and they prove themselves. And she was on the come up, man. She was starting a tour. She was definitely on the come up. So she was going to get a bigger contract in 2020 for sure. And you know, one of the things that happened is that, so not only did the record label, as part of her signing bonus, you know, she got the new home in Banana Island. As I said, that's one of the most expensive and prestigious areas of Lagos. But again, she was taking care of this dude. You know what I'm saying? This dude was like basically a 55-year-old Madden King as far as I've read so far. And she also did like a recent contract clause where she was getting international distribution of her music with different affiliates of her record company throughout Asia. And she was about to blow up in Europe, and maybe even she would have ended up here in America. Because, you know, a lot of people think that America is the only music scene, but I've heard different like American artists that we consider like washed say that they went over to like Asia. So there might be someone that we call like a one-hit wonder, or they're washed. But these people are making big money over in places like Asia and Africa and things like that. So she was about to blow up. She also, I guess her record company had given her like a new Ford Explorer. So she was doing pretty good, man. And that song Master was obviously a hit. So one of the things that the police said, so the Lagos State Police that arrested Peter Neilsen, confirming Peter's arrest, they said that the guy tried to cover up the murders and try to make it look like it was some kind of domestic accident. Now here we go again, okay? Don't forget about the case that we talked about before. When we started this whole thing back in October, we talked about that the killing last spring of Zariah Burgess by her redneck white father, Joshua Lee Burgess. Don't no one ever forget that name. When he raped his 15-year-old daughter, biracial daughter, and cut her throat. It's like another case just like that. Because in this case, whatever his anger was towards his Nigerian wife, that wasn't enough to smash her head into the wall and strangle her. The police report says that he smashed her head in the wall and strangled her. So this dude was in one of those bottom shelf Brad rages. You know what I'm saying? And then he didn't smash the little girl's head, but what he did, he poisoned her. So he poisoned his 4-year-old biracial daughter, man. And he tried to when the police arrived at 3 a.m. in the morning, they said that he had tried to make it look like it was all like some kind of accident as the primary suspect. So strangled and smashed this R&B singer, Nigerian woman who had his child, who was his wife, taking care of him, murdered her. But then they're saying that he poisoned the daughter as well. And it's important that we have these conversations because that bottom shelf Brad rage is like no other. I would actually say that the American black male is genteel and very egalitarian in comparison to these bottom shelf Brad guys that they keep choosing. Because again, as we've proven many times, they choose the least desirable male man in the male man dating pool. It's pretty much confirmed at this point. Because again, we're working backwards. We're looking at the evidence, we're looking at the patterns, and we'll come to our final theory at the end of the series when I finally wrap up this series, when that day does come. But we're working backwards. We're looking at the cases, we're noting the patterns, and then we'll come to a conclusion in a few months what's really going on here. At a time when, surprisingly, the SYSBM hashtag is really taken off, and it's kind of like a tidal wave. And I'm kind of, sitting back, watching to see what comes of, all these men making that claim now. So we'll see what happens. But for me, it's always been about black male freedom, the freedom of choice, exercising your options, not being attached to anything and anybody but your own goals. And we have to get in that mentality as black men. And we have to stop letting everyone attack our image in the world. And that's what this is about. Yes, I'm just one man with a chat of about 100 people, but you all are important to me. And I know that you're important to yourself. See, that's all that matters. People will say, well, it's only 100 people that's listening. No, it ain't going to make no impact. Yes, it is. Because one of these entries already went viral. So you may think that it doesn't make an impact us talking about these things, but it's critical because we're doing the job that the news won't do. This is I guess they would call it the hood news, right? So YouTube is almost like the hood news, the working class man's news. You know what I'm saying? That's really what this has become, YouTube. So, looking at the police report, it just really messed me up. So let me just bring the pictures up again. I hate to make you guys look at the image again, but I want to sear this in your mind. Because again, the dick police, the black woman first drones, the Me Too Miss Andress, and the black girl magic feminist, and the swirl, the white male worshipers, they've been at me. You know what I'm saying? They've been angry at me for reporting on these stories and other brothers that report on these stories, but I don't care. I'm going to keep putting these stories out here every time one of them is sent to me, every time I come across one myself. So instead of worrying about us reporting on the stories, you need to make better decisions in the kind of men that you are choosing. I don't care if you choose the male man. I don't really care. But what I do care is that you're putting so many young people at risk, and you end up complaining about what you claim black men are doing when I don't read too much about black men doing these kind of things. So these are some of the more PG pictures that the Nigerian police that they took at the scene of the crime, man. I mean, it's messed up. So this is what they look like. And this is the guy right here, Peter Neilsen, 55 years old. I mean, where's the love, Peter? So there's this claim that, oh, bottom shelf Brad, he worships the ground that the queen of the damn walks on and all this stuff. No, it isn't. These white dudes be on that bottom shelf Brad gigolo game, man. Let's keep it a buck at this point. Most of these dudes are actually, they're the ones that are getting over. They're doing reverse hypergamy on these females, man. In mostly all of these cases. Because these are dudes that if within the white females is not fucking with them like that. The Mayo chick is not choosing them like that. When they go around like the Mayo people say this dude is an oddball. He's weird. He's creepy. But then the same white male worshiper sees the creepy guy and says, there goes God. You see what I'm saying? So that's like that whole halo effect, right? We talk about that, the halo effect that bottom shelf Brad has. So black man bad, Mayo man good. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. And then it's like, this is a case where they knew about Peter because it was only a few days before that she had actually reported that a domestic violence situation, and they had enough money that they actually had maids. And on trial so far, one of the maids said that like her face was swollen up the day before she was murdered because Peter had put those hands on her. You see what I'm saying? So there's also a part of that myth is this idea that that these guys are these nonviolent individuals and that these relationships are so sustainable and that they last forever and all of that. That ain't true. What it is, again, and this is why I love having these conversations with you all, because it forces us to dissect these arguments, you know, and it takes time to do it. But so someone may look at an outcome, right? They may look at a result and they'll say, well, these relationships are so stable because they lasted like 3 days longer than this other kind of relationship. But that's just telling you what's on the surface. Well, doesn't the radical feminists say that a lot of the most abused women stay in the longest relationships? Because that's what this series is teaching me, is that the missing factor and the missing narrative is that a lot of these women, these white male worshipers, they stay in these relationships, even though they're being abused and beaten. Because again, it must be something of a a confusion in the mind of a person to think of someone as a God-like figure, a Messiah type figure, and then the first time that you see that those five fingers come across your face that first time. You see what I'm saying? So they're not getting this better deal that they're trying to sell you on. So in a way, as far as I'm concerned, I would tell the male man, come take all of these black misanders, take them all, and take their simp drones with them. So take both of them. Take the white male worshiper and take her simp drone and protect her with you guys. Y'all all just go somewhere else. We will all be better off. Because I'm tired of reading these obituaries at the foot of Swirl Mountain. I'm tired of it. And we're adding more and more caskets to the graveyard of Swirl Mountain. I don't want to be the one to read the obituary, but it's only a handful of us that are willing to report this stuff and tell these stories to kind of warn other people. Shout out to Raiders 48 Gates. I appreciate the super chat, brother. Thanks a lot, man. So the charges that Peter Neilsen ended up being charged with were 2 counts of murder, and that's under section 223 of the criminal law of Lagos State. He actually pled not guilty to the murder. So he said he didn't do it. And as the trial has gone on, all the evidence points to him doing it. So again, he has not been convicted yet. The trial is ongoing, so everyone has their right to a trial. But the thing is that the initial trial started on October 10th, 2018, and here we are on January 8th, 2020, and they just did a recent adjournment where they pushed it out to sometime in the next 60 days. I guess they'll restart the trial. But the prosecutors also claimed that days before the gruesome murder that he had, threatened to kill her. Yeah. And so she had some time to go to a relative's house. Again, this was not no average working class woman. This was a well-off R&B pop singer. So she had been threatened with I don't know why they don't take the warnings of bottom shelf Brad seriously, man. These dudes don't play around. If one of these, to all the white male worshipers out there, if you find yourself in a ghetto gagger kind of relationship with one of these Brads, and the moment they say that they will kill your black ass, it's time to get out of Dodge. Get your biracial kids and get out of Dodge. We all know that there's a black B1B black woman first drone out there that will come swoop you up if the police won't come swoop you up. Because we got a lot of dudes that'll throw that cape on for you. So I'm serious with this. No joke though. To the white male worshipers, this is another one of those public service announcements from King Sigma. When you find yourself in one of these violent relationships and you hear the word kill come out of Brad's mouth, it's time to haul ass. Because every time I read one of these stories, these dudes do give that warning. And they just, I guess they don't believe that their deity could ever kill one of them. I just don't, it don't matter how many of them die. Again, we talked about the Joshua Lee Burgess murdering his biracial daughter, but let's not forget about that. For those in the chat, do you guys remember that situation in New York about 2 years ago with Stephanie Adams, the former Playboy swirler, and how she they allegedly she jumped off like the 23rd floor of her condominium building out there in New York City with her biracial child? Stop it. Stop it. And then the husband, even though she had gotten like a settlement from the New York Police Department for like a little over $1 million or something like that, with her bankrupt white Madden King chiropractor who took all that money to get himself out of bankruptcy and was having an affair with an alleged affair with the white female secretary. You guys remember that story about Stephanie Adams. I'm supposed to believe that after one of these white male worshippers climbed Swirl Mountain and they get that biracial seed, that they jumped off the 23rd floor and killed herself and the child and the Mayo man and his alleged Mayo mistress. They're not suspects. Okay. So again, that's just kind of how these things be going, man. And so they called it a very gruesome murder. The news reporters and the prosecution, they called it a very gruesome murder, man. But again, you know, the Lagos courts, they've adjourned this trial numerous times over the course of the nearly 2 years. It was adjourned on February 20th, 2019, then again on June 2019, and then pushed back again on July 3rd, 2019, and again on December 6th, 2019, right before Christmas holidays. So they're looking to re-adjourn the trial. It looks like the end of this month or February. So I was reading some of the, you know, like when a person is murdered, they'll have like the funerals. They will have people speak. And one of the people that spoke to the news about this gruesome murder was a actress in Nigeria named Omani Obali. She was a friend of the murdered mother and daughter. And she had said something that really stood out in my mind. And I'm going to keep this tagline. I'm going to keep this tagline for this series, man. What she said is that she was talking to the reporters and to the audience. She said, believe me, no marriage is worth dying for and nobody is indispensable. Let me read that again to you what she said. This is a great tagline for this series. Believe me, no marriage is worth dying for and nobody is indispensable. Now, I got to translate that because, again, that's that cake soap white male worshiper speech. But she was honest, but she just didn't make it clear what she was trying to say. So let me put it into that. Now that I'm like one of the reporters on Swirl Mountain, let me put it into that for you. What she was really saying is, believe me, no amount of white male worship and validation is worth dying for. And Mayo man may be saved or exonerated while you and your daughter lay 6 feet deep. He may make it out, but you damn sure won't. So that's my translation for you all that are new to, you know, this Swirl Mountain area of YouTube. So again, he may make it out, but you damn sure won't. That's what she was really trying to say. So she was sending out a warning to her cake soap sisters. But again, man, this is another sad tale from the graveyard of Swirl Mountain. The gruesome murder of Zainab Ali Nielsen, otherwise known as Alizee, the pop R&B Nigerian singer, and her 4-year-old biracial child, Peter Neilsen. So I hope that that you all go listen to that song. It's called Massa. And I wish I could have played it for you so you could hear it. I mean, it's just, I couldn't believe the song's called Massa, man. And that's what we have. I mean, there's not going to be a win long term for the white male worshiper. And they're not going to be able to use and project against black men across the planet because we're fighting back all over the planet, and we're going to keep on adding these stories, and we're going to keep on doing these obituaries, because again, I'm telling you, man, the climb to the top of Swirl Mountain is a hard climb. It is a hard incline. Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, I ain't never seen a climb like this. But every so often, one of those worshippers makes it to the top. And even a more rare, they get that biracial seed that gives them all the validation they could ever imagine. But for some reason, so few make it to the top, but so many fall to the bottom, straight into that graveyard. So that's my thoughts on the murder of Zainab Ali Nielsen. When I get some more updated information about it, because again, since I only like reporting on like actual criminal cases, things that are actually before the court, I have to wait some time for the final, decision in these cases. So it looks like, I hope at least, unless they adjourn again and push it back again, we should be getting a decision on this case by early spring, and I'll be able to report. But he has 2 charges of murder, so I don't know what the jury is going to say, but we'll see. Let me check the chat, see what you guys are saying. But there was one other thing that I wanted to say before I check the chat. I don't know if you guys remember, but about a year and a half ago, there was this big conversation in Black YouTube spaces about this show that Bravo had called To Rome for Love. It was about like these Black women that were going over to Italy to find a zaddy, find a bottom shelf Brad. Do you guys, if you remember that show, put a 1 in the chat, because I want to know who all remembers that show. Because that's what I was thinking about when I was reading the story, man. That show was big time about over a year and a half ago among the Swirl Sisterhood, man, and the Cake Soap Sisterhood. This was a big show. But salute to you, January, man. I see you, Evan Duncan, Turbattle, Vern, Conservative, Red Pill, Disrespectful, Mr. RJ CPP, GW3 Extreme, Black Hero Strikes, Roscoe, Raiders 48 Gates, user handle Third Ward Colombian, Ayanda, Vern, King Akir, Mayhem, David Monroe, Elis Hun, I saw name of Buckner, Russian Bot, Tiger No, Raiders 48. Shout out to all y'all. If I missed anyone, man, thank y'all for coming through. So yeah, they had this show that they were promoting very heavily over there in the Cape Soap Sisterhood, right? And it's this idea that these women are going to divest from the world that they created. And that's, that's another one of these tag-along stories related to the narrative of SYSBM2, is that so as more and more brothers escape Americanda and the dysfunction of that community, you have more of these women that actually created this very death, destruction, and dysfunctional environment, who are selling this idea through Hollywood and other mechanisms that they're going to go to these other countries and get with a white man or an Asian man or whatever it is, an Arab man, but it always ends in disaster. One of the first stories that I reported on was one about a Black woman who was over in Asia, and she thought she was gonna, go over there on some Black girl magic feminism, Sex in the City tip, and it blew all the way up in her face. You guys can see that one. It's still up. You guys need to check that one out, man, because that was a funny story. But so this show, the To Rome for Love, it has a big following. Hollywood knows what they're doing. So in that series, To Rome for Love, they had these Black women, these 5 Black women, Gina, Shay, Nikita, Ashley, and Mercedes, each in a different stage of their life with unique stories of quote unquote love, but all sharing the same challenge of dating as a Black woman in America. We know what all that means. What that means is that they're post-wall, they got ran through in their 20s and their 30s, and now they're on the wrong side of the wall, and now they believe that they're gonna go find themselves a bottom shelf Brad that's looking for a green card. That's what the show premise was. And they said that, I love the language that they use on these shows. The adventure begins in a decadent villa in the heart of Rome, where the Black women will reside as they explore who they are and what they want from Italian love. Joined by her 2 associates and assistants, D. Mika Lindsay, a larger-than-life personality who offers a strong male perspective, and Christine C.C. Counts, Diane's right-hand woman who is of Italian heritage and helps vet the perfect Italian man. Diane curates the ultimate foreign experience with Rome's most eligible bachelors. Oh, these Rome's most eligible bachelors, how much they desire the black girl magic feminist. Oh yeah, what a deal. A deal that comes with 100,000 miles vagina facts and 3 or 4 bastards. What a deal for the most eligible bachelors of Italy. And going on organized one-on-one dates and small group excursions may all sound as sweet as gelato, but it's not all nightly strolls on the piazza and delicious red wine for these single American black ladies, as they must face their fears, get past their emotional baggage, understand cultural differences, and open themselves up to the chance to fall in love with one of the most eligible bachelors of Rome. So that's how they reported the story. About this whole thing with the to Rome for love. So that's how they were marketing that story. So again, that's what Hollywood's going to tell you. Well, I'm going to show you the dark side of why Hollywood will never tell you. So the cake soap sisterhood, the black girl magic feminists, and the white male worshipers, they're not going to tell those women that they're getting all their money off of. I mean, when they talk about that get the bag prostitution culture, there ain't no more of a greater predator than the white male worshiper upon the insecurities of your rank and file American black woman. I'm sorry to tell you, 100%, there ain't nothing more predatory than what these women are doing to these vulnerable women who really are lacking motherhood. They're lacking a father that's competent to raise them, and that's the real issue. And these women need lots and lots of psychological help. But nah, they're not telling these women that you need to get that psychological help, that you need to go back into the darkness of your own child rearing that causes you to be so low self-esteem. Nah, they say, we're just going to give you these, I call it the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations, right? So some of you guys have heard me use that term. And when I talk about the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations, I'm talking about things like the symbolic gestures that you saw at the end of 2019 with the crowning of the, I think it was 2 or 3 biracial black women. And then there was 2 black women, Negroid black women. So there were like 2 Negroid black women, one from South Africa, another one from America. And then there were like 3 biracial women that were given these symbolic pageant crowns at the end of December 2019, just gave them to them. Okay, y'all keep on complaining about the black beauty standard and the white beauty standard. Take these crowns and go vote for Democrats. That's basically what that was, right? So that's what I mean about the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations, that there's all these symbolic things, all these, hey, shout out to you, Big Poke Dog. Appreciate the super chat, man. So yeah, you have like all these little symbolic gestures that the elites in Hollywood are trying to pass out. And shout out to that guy, Ricky Gervais, the guy that was at the Golden Globes that really triggered the hell out of Hollywood this week. You guys should go look at that clip of the host at the Golden Globes. His name was Ricky Gervais. Hollywood has been on his ass the last 2 or 3 days because he went so hard against all the social justice warriorism, all of this misandry, and all of this politically correctness that Hollywood promotes. So go listen to that speech by Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. I believe that's where it was, at the Golden Globes. His name is Ricky Gervais. He was trending like a day ago on social media, but he was calling out the fakeness of these elite Hollywoods that push all this propaganda and that are just helping to destroy the relationship between the American male and the American woman, and especially the relationship between the American black male and the American black female. There's no reason for the kind of depth and animosity between the American black male and the American black female. We can coexist and go our separate ways or whatever without all of this anger that's actually is pumped into us by the media. They do this shit on purpose, bro. They keep on putting out things that, they want to make it, well, to empower the American black woman, you have to destroy the black male. And a lot of these women are not using discretion and thinking on what these people are actually doing. So again, part of the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations is to, up until election 2020, to continue to throw out all these little symbolic gestures to the American black woman while exercising a benign neglect, invisible man policy against the American black male. And that's why these spaces are so hated, because they wish that we were invisible. They wish that they could cut out our tongues and we would be silent. But we just keep coming back and back and back and throwing the truth back in their face. So you guys go check that out with Ricky Gervais. But let me just go ahead and check the chat before I get off. Appreciate you all coming through on such short notice. I know I don't really plan these things really well like I should, but sometimes I just go with the flow. So let me see. Put a couple of you guys' comments on the screen. Show y'all some love, because you're always showing me love. So let's see. Conservative Red Pill says, it's growing among the poor, but most Jamaican I know still do not bleach. Just a certain type of Jamaican woman. Yeah, man. That skin bleaching thing, whew, throughout the diaspora, man, it's heavy. It's heavy. And I'm glad that I'm actually reading a lot more up on Africa and the geopolitics, because I've been so focused on like American domestic politics that I really have neglected to stay up on my geopolitics, man. But yeah, I'm seeing more and more that the story told about what's going on in Africa damn sure ain't the reality, because that bleaching thing is out of control over there, man. Even in this case with Zainab Ali Nielsen, you saw her pictures. She was on that bleaching stuff, man. So let me see. So the brother asked 74K Johnson says, have you heard about the Jun Lee debacle? No, I have not heard about the Jun Lee debacle, but I will look into it. I'll look into it, bro. Haven't heard about it yet, though. Let's see. Abdul bin Bobby Atab says, this Nielsen guy sounds like Tim Minett. That's what I'm wondering, bro. Yeah, Abdul, I've been looking. Like I said, I've been watching that one. You already know, bro. I'm waiting to see what the outcome of that one is. You usually got to give it like a year, so we'll see. But I'm watching it because a lot of these dudes do sound like Tim Minett, you know. So I'm watching that one. We'll see if that one becomes an entry. That will be a fun one to do. Charles Watkins, there is a Jamaican bed wench at my job chasing this Filipino guy. He hardly recognized her. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, the brother Kid Organic, he just did a upload about a very similar situation about one of these Asian YouTuber guys who was disrespecting American black women to their face, that worship him, that put money in his pocket and treat him like dog shit, and they were still worshiping him. So you might want to go check that out. It's on his channel. It's one of like the last 5 videos where he has like this Asian dude that's going around disrespecting black women, and the black women, they still keep chasing him. So again, if that's the kind of sadistic mentality that they have, that's their problem. It has nothing to do with you as an American black man. For the most part, the black misinterest, unless she's your daughter or wife, is not your concern outside of you putting younger brothers and your fellow brothers on game about what's really going on out here. But if you consider yourself to be one of these guys, I have ownership over the black American female, I'm the boss and all that, well, you go ahead and put that cape on and take that jump. And you go land straight on your fucking face every time. But over here, nah, we're not making that jump. We putting brothers on game, keeping their minds right, challenging them to think about all kind of different areas of human activity. And we're not putting on no capes no more. So they might as well go ahead and kill that argument right now. These hoes are chasing after these Asian guys, pedestalizing white men and Asian men. That's their problem. That's their concern. That's their right too. Again, that's also their right to do so. And it's our right to keep that shit moving. Keep it moving. Don't even look left or right. Just keep that shit pushing all the way. Focused on your own goals. Because they ain't worried about you. So let me see. So King Akir says, her lover shall be raised against her. Powerful. Ezekiel 22:23. Her lover shall be raised against her. That's powerful, man. There's so many warnings that come out of the scriptures, man. It's a lot of warnings, and I'm not like a guy that gets into all the religious stuff, but again, as a person that just has that natural curiosity about how things work, how things have been, things to come, I do like to read the scriptures from time to time as a non-religious man. Turbattle says, Plus, black men begin seeing through their bullshit. Oh yeah, and that's definitely what's going on. SYSBM is like, I didn't see this coming, man. I knew it would take off like maybe in a couple years, but I did not see this tidal wave hitting this social media like it has. And I've actually made some bet with some brothers that I wouldn't be surprised if someone like a Jeezy or a Michael B. Jordan or a 50 Cent type of figure, because you saw how 50 Cent was going at Oprah over that Russell Simmons hypocritical documentary. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them before the end of 2020 hashtag SYSBM somewhere on social media. I swear to God, I'm not bullshitting you. And again, all credit due to Mad Bus Driver X. He put a hashtag on black male freedom that's very convenient. So he should get all the rewards for that and all the praise for that. AO says, Ho 40 years old, still trying to find out who she is. Right. 40, 45 years old. I love the language that they be using such good seductive game on these broads, man. Madison Avenue is something else, man. They are great at what they do. It's the soft sell. Miriam says, laughing out sounds like fan fiction, man. Ain't nothing about the surviving bottom shelf Brad fiction, man. This is true crime, horror, murder, mystery level shit, man. These stories, YouTube wants to put that R rating on, because this ain't no, this is that real shit, man. This is that true crime, murder mystery stuff. Let me see. Conservative Red Pill says skin bleaching is mainly done among poor Caribbean and African women. Middle and upper class Caribbean and African women generally do not bleach. That's interesting that he said it's a class element to it. That's interesting. I have to take your word for now on that. I mean, sometimes you brothers are so good at throwing so much information at me, I can't keep up with it, man. I got like backlogs on articles that brothers send me about different topics and books that I should read and things like that. And I'm like, man, I gotta, I only got so much time, to get to all this stuff. But at some point I have to dig into that, how that skin bleaching and the cake soap culture relates to Swirl Mountain and surviving bottom shelf Brad. I got to get back into the psychology of that, I just haven't had time yet. So user handle says, shit, I want the white man to have them. That way the curse rubs off on them. That is what it seems like. It's like, see, here's the thing. And this is why I say that you should always pedestalize yourself and not pedestalize anybody. And I literally mean that. Nobody but yourself, unless you have a child. If you are a childless brother, put yourself first, value your seed. Because at the end of the day, it's about you and not anyone else, because other people will fail you. You know what I'm saying? But you should never fail yourself. And I always look at it like that. Other people may fail you. Your expectations of other people may never be met. But you should always have the highest expectations for yourself, because you came into this world by yourself and you're most likely going out by yourself. So it doesn't bother me that the male man, the mentally deranged ones especially, are taking on these women who it's actually addition by subtraction as far as I'm concerned. And I won't put that on anyone else. But as far as I'm concerned, it's addition by subtraction, man. So thank you. He said, so Vern said, that's too nice. I say 200K on that pussy mileage. Man, he said 200K on that pussy mileage, in need of a tune-up. Shocks is all out. Carburetor is blown. Battery is dead. He said 200K. Ain't none. He said so Tyrone with love can't even bring him back to life, huh, Vern? They can't bring that bag back to life. So the brother DK Phantom says, for black women, if they get with white men, they have to be white. But with us, we have to be some type of perfect God type of black man. But I ain't got time to put on a mask. I'd rather be myself. Well, that's a good point, DK. A lot of brothers do say that, man. A lot of brothers say that they feel that there's this double standard, and it does seem like it, because, everyone at this point in black YouTube has seen the video of the white, quote unquote, incel complaining about not being able to get away from American black women, being deified by American black women, where he was saying exactly what you're saying. He was saying like all these black men are like Adonises in comparison to me. Why do you want to be with me? I'm fat, I'm sloppy, I got mental illness. I'm living in my mama's basement. He was actually literally saying this shit on camera, man. Everyone's seen that video. But he was still getting hit up in the DMs even after uploading that video. So at this point, I mean, you should not even be worried about what their opinion is, whatever their standard is. It's time for you to have your own standard and go where you could be celebrated and valued, wherever that takes you. But just put yourself first and stop seeking validation from like low tier women. You know, once you get out of that mentality of seeking validation from low tier women, a lot of your problems will be solved, man. But again, that takes that discipline. You got to discipline yourself. Sexual discipline does not come easy, man. So Turbattle says, I'm gonna read a couple more of these before I get up out of here. Turbattle says, if Black Panther is the black man's dream, then Scandal is the black woman's dream. Shit, no argument there. They got so many shows about the, they got so many white worshiper like commercials and TV shows and movies that have come out in the last 3 years that I can't even, I don't even try to keep up with it anymore. If they fall for the soft sell, that's on them, man. No loss to me. Conservative red pill. A dark-skinned, upper-class Jamaican woman is not going to bleach her skin because she was born into prestige and can easily find a man or any man with wealth to marry her. That's interesting that you bring up that class element of it, because they never really talk about it from that level. They just say, hey, these women are over here bleaching their skin. But to bring that class element up, that's interesting, because that probably points to the fact that these people are raised by a father and a mother. They're taught to love their Afrocentric features and not just to love it, but to promote it. So that might play a role in that, conservative. So Ayanda says, they put those wenches in a villa, they would have settled for a motel. You ain't lying. They probably would have swam across the Atlantic Ocean to get over there to Italy if they was forced to. That's how serious it is. I'm telling you, man, they will go to the end of the earth like a crackhead searching for crack, man, for that bottom shelf Brad High. I guess that bottom shelf Brad High is worth death. It's worth rape. I mean, it's worth all that, because again, we use the term around here, genetic diplomatic immunity. Okay. And I need you guys to remember that term, genetic diplomatic immunity. And whenever you read these stories, always keep that term in mind, because that's what they have. So let's see, the brother Black Euro Strikes. One of the swirling hopeful was the Gina Neely of the former black husband and wife cooking show. She divorced him. He remarried and has a new kid. She chasing Italian peen overseas. Damn. I didn't even know who that woman was. Wow. So she was actually one of these women that was a cook on TV. Damn. And her husband said, I'm up out of here, man. I just think that's interesting. Someone got to explain it in the chat. Like, so if a lot of these American black men are bouncing out of these relationships saying that the juice isn't worth the squeeze, what would make the white male worshiper think that the bottom shelf Brad is getting anything outside of him getting that bag, that he's going to look at it as like a come up for him? Based on all the racism I've ever seen, white men don't want what they would call the sloppy seconds of American black men. They even do it to white women. So when the male female goes off with black men, they come up with all kind of names like Mud Shark, BBC, all kind of corny shit that the white dudes come up with to like express their penis envy and their envy of black men. But they got rules, man, like unwritten rules that once you go black, you can't come back type thing. And so it's kind of odd to me that these women think that they'll get anything more than the ghetto gag experience. Maybe if they're able to do like some sperm theft, they'll get a biracial kid. But as has been proven through the Bottom Shelf Brad series, these men will kill those kids and you if you do anything that they don't like. So let me see what Vern says. My white coworker told me that black women would date him. He was a cool guy. He was 40 and had fucked up teeth. No surprise. Let me see what David Carroll quote says. Mr. Ed Hyde, he says, this bitch is backwards. Just look at how they fucking think. Yeah. You ain't lying. David Carroll ain't lying. So I'll get a couple more in here. Let me see. So let's see. Christopher Daly says, they gave Miss Jamaica the Miss World title. That will only increase skin bleaching and white men, women. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Basically, it's a cattle call for ghetto gaggers. Just think about it like that, Christopher Daly. The bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations is really a very insidious thing with all the symbolic gestures, but it has tangible benefits for bottom shelf Brad, because what he's doing, he's taking the best of yours while giving the worst of his and spoiling these women to a point that you would not want to touch her or be around her if you're a man of quality that values yourself. So just keep that in mind. You know, just like with the Willie Lynch letter type of thing, I have my own version of Willie Lynch letter, and I call it the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations, because that's what it's about. It seems on the surface that these women are getting a victory, but it's very insidious indeed. You know, everyone wants to talk about sexual trafficking and domestic violence and all that. That's what they're signing up for. So all of these male men are just sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get a little piece of that chocolate cake right there, send her back to the Black Woman First drones in about 5 years. See, that's how they thinking. And these women, because of that, they're pretty much mentally, you know, fucked up after they're done with them. Because they've done, you know, you've all seen ghetto gaggers. Go over to fsavenger.com and they show a lot of those videos of what goes on over there on ghetto gaggers over there. And they give their commentary on, I mean, they just do the most like vile type of shit to these white male worshipers, man. And they do it for like $100. So keep that in mind too. These hoes are doing those kind of things for like to pay their cell phone bills. And that's all that is. That's what that whole crowning those women was about. It was about, hey, we're gonna show you that we're gonna play like 2 or 3 games. We're playing chess while the rest of y'all not even at the table, because you can't see through the bullshit. So GW3 says it's not a poor woman thing. It doesn't matter what class, they all do it. So he's actually responding to the idea that conservative red pill says that it's actually a class thing. So that's their takes on that. Let me see. I see the brother SKC in here. Let me see what SKC talking about. He always talking good shit. Let me see. So RJ says, but they'll say it's just on YouTube, bro. Shaking my head, hashtag disgusted. Bruh, you're going to be doing that hashtag disgusted a whole lot if you keep coming back to these bottom shelf Brad series, because these cases get worse and worse every time. I keep telling you guys, man, these cases get worse and worse every time. I think the last one I did was about the deputy with the neo-Nazi prisoner that she was alleged to have given an STD and getting the whole prison in herself sued and fired. So these cases just get worse and worse. Now you got another case of bottom shelf Brad over there in Lagos, living it up on Banana Island, playing Madden games all day, doing what the white pookies do, while his wife is doing tours, bringing home the bacon for her, because he gave her, for her, what is more valuable than gold, what's more valuable than diamonds, much more valuable than Bitcoins. That biracial seed, man. I'm telling you, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. They will go to the ends of the earth for that white seed, man. We wouldn't have 21 million black babies aborted since 1973 in the United States of America alone if they were all of the white seed or the Asian seed. Believe that one. And I'm going to keep hammering that into your head. The only reason that we have 21 million black babies aborted over 46 years here in the United States is because they were black men's seeds. And they did not want to carry that to, they did not want to birth those children. They didn't want to bring them into this world. So there you go. So Black Euro, he says, the new live action The Little Mermaid stars a black woman and her love interest has been cast with a white man. Oh, yeah. That's become like the, again, Black Euro. Again, you didn't get the memo on the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations. That's reparations for the American black woman. This is the Willie Lynch 2020 version. They're going to continue to do all those symbolic gestures to make sure that they get those 95% of black women to those polls to vote for Elizabeth Warren, who I believe is going to be the candidate for the Democrats. That's what that's all about. Oh, they're going to be at that poll. So I don't think that's the end of it. I told someone before, I wouldn't be surprised, like, because we saw that Star Wars flopped, Terminator Dark Fate flopped, I mean, there's so many damn of these feminist movies and these pandering movies that flopped over the last year. It's just it's just unbelievable. But I still believe that Hollywood, after hearing Ricky Gervais, I wouldn't be surprised if we like hear about some action hero type of dude like Lizzo, you know, because her name is hot out here. Lizzo the Hippo. Her name is really hot out here in these streets right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see her playing like one of like Wolverine or who's another person that they might try to get her to play, because they've been doing this a lot. So I could see Lizzo playing like the next Wolverine or Nightcrawler or some shit like that, maybe even Juggernaut. But you're gonna see them go to the extreme over the course of this year, man. You're gonna see them putting BBWs, man, in roles that are just gonna make your jaw hit the ground. You know, like the Flash. Like just imagine Lizzo in like that tight Flash uniform, moving like with like a hippo through the wind. You gonna see shit like that. So just Black Uhuru, stay tuned, bro. The bottom shelf plan for the bottom shelf Brad plan for reparations is real, no matter what you think. User handle says bottom shelf Brad's pipe game can't be that good. White women keep fucking Negroes. Yeah, that is a fact. I think that's one of the highest search porn on Pornhub among the white male is porn of black men chopping down white women and Asian women. That's like one of the most searched porns for white men. They love that shit, man. It's a very psychological kind of thing, man. It's that penis envy psychosis type of thing where they don't want to see it, but they can't pull themselves away from the screen. And then that's where that murderous nature comes out. And that's why they go through a lot of that ghetto gag and stuff, because a lot of times they wear the blackface. And I've talked about this before. It's that sexual transmutation thing. When they wear the blackface, they do that because they're trying to summon the spirits of melanin. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they're really big into that blackface thing. You don't see black men going around doing fucking whiteface. But white dudes are always caught behind closed doors doing blackface, doing slave role play type shit. Because again, they're trying to summon that melanin and that high testosterone level from the black male zeitgeist. It doesn't work. And that's when they get violent with those women, because the women is like, I can't make you a black man. That's what the women are saying. And then they end up murdering the hoes, man. Because he comes out of his delusion. Vern says, January black men are still delusional. I've been telling black men they just called me a hater. Man, don't even worry about that shit. We get called worse things than that on a daily basis. Someone even told me, they thought they confused me with Supreme King Coon one day. They said I was cooning for putting out the truth. So I come to believe that must be my fucking middle name now. The Coon of Swirl Mountain. Hey, shout out to Let's Be Frank, man. Y'all go check out his channel. Y'all go check out Supreme King Coon channel. Supreme King Coon is he's like a maestro with that video editing stuff, man. Quality stuff. So let's see. Brian Triple X. He says Megan Williams. He says Megan Williams was the girl who was tortured in the trailer park. Shit. Thank you for that, Brian. I gotta look. You see what I'm saying? Y'all think I be playing, man? These brothers be giving me these stories, man. And it's just like that. I'm telling you, that graveyard around Swirl Mountain is growing exponentially. And I can't even get to all these stories. Brothers be sending me so much info. These dudes is like better than the CIA, better than the FBI with these investigations, bro. They be knowing all kind of shit that you would never hear in the media about what happened. Why they selling you on stories of the black little mermaid and her white zaddy, the same person a year later will be murdered and chopped up and put in a garbage bag, and they will act like it never even happened in the news. Let me see. A Mega Dread says, facts, they smell desperation. Oh, yeah. They know what time it is, man. But that's their problem now. It's not my problem. You don't hear me using that term, our women. I say our female designated counterpart, and I say that for a very specific reason. Our female designated counterpart. And once you figure out who designated her to you, that's all you need to know. Turbato says that Viola Davis got a black husband and still worships Eddie. Yeah, she definitely does, man. So Black Euro says that Hippo looks pretty vicious to me. Yeah, man, I could see her in like one of those gladiator films, fighting lions and shit. And with this social justice warrior culture, they might have her put like Refrigerator Perry in like a documentary about the Refrigerator Perry that used to be like a lineman for the Chicago Bears because they into that type of shit, like that transsexual kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised they put her in a role like that. The story of Refrigerator Perry, starring Hippo. No body shaming, fellas. That type of shit. And you guys think I'm joking about it? I'm telling you, bro, the shit's gonna get real, man. You're gonna see things this year. You're just gonna sit back, just laugh and thanking God that you had this black male YouTube space where we give you the game early so that when it comes, you'll be like, oh yeah, we knew that was coming. Because again, they're watching all of our streams, they're taking notes. We got all kind of journalist stalkers in this space now. They don't know what to do with themselves because they can't dispute the information because it's all fact-based. They're so used to you men being so emotional that when you come with the facts and then the opinion, they don't know what to do because you have a right to take a case and give your perspective on it. Do what they haven't been doing. So the brother Mayhem says, King Sue, when I said fan fiction, I was referring to you making fun of those black chicks finding themselves. Oh yeah. That's that slave play, slave romance section in the Barnes and Nobles. That's like the largest section. That's what that is. So let me see. So I would just say to you all, man, nobody's coming to save you, black man. And shout out to For Us By Us, who came up with the hashtag EBM Escape Black Man. Shout out to the brother Mad Bus Driver with his hashtag SYSBM. And then, as I always say, the solution is to fix by exit. And I do appreciate everyone coming out on on your lunch break to chop it up with me and hear this the sixth entry in the Surviving Bottom Shelf Brad series, A Tale of Two Body Bags. Zainab Sings No More. Because again, like Amoni Oboli, the friend of Zainab, said, believe me, no marriage is worth dying for, and nobody is indispensable. And with that, you all have a great hump day, and we will chop it up soon. I'm out.